over to you, Lucas, for your case study. Very excited for this one as well.
Yeah, welcome to the Green Up Club case study presented by me today. And we start right away with the problem statement about first-time plant buyers who are quickly frustrated by seeing their new green friends dying way too fast. So that's something a lot of people experienced out there, where a lot of people came to me after providing the first idea on it. And yeah, so this led me to the first objective about achieving the problem market fit, where I wanted to validate that quickly dying plants is really an acute problem, especially for young people living in Central Europe, because everyone wants to have that Instagrammable living room with those exotic plants. And my key results here were I reached out to 22 people in total and got 5 user interviews for the discovery calls. I aggregated those interviews into 4 main frustrations and flipped them into 2 opportunities. To visualize this quickly, so here you can see the 5 interviews. From that one, I got the 4 frustration about lack of caring, denial, lack of knowledge, and missing overview. With the 2 opportunities I picked out to adopt to their lifestyle and schedule, but also deliver one source of knowledge, which helps those young people to treat their plants right. And with that opportunities in mind, I came up with the product vision and strategy for the Green Up Club. So the vision was we are there for plant lovers to become experts with their plants. And our strategy was we help young plant lovers achieve to become experts with their plants, with giving them the only guide they will ever need to get along with those plants and become a plants expert. Then next objective number 2 was to validate the offer market fit with the MVO of we help young plant lovers to become experts with their plants with recommended guides dedicated to their lifestyle. So via Instagram, I reached out to nearly 1,250 people, but only had a conversion rate of 0.3% on our landing page. Thanks to the Blue Ocean, I got a clear idea on how I want to differentiate, because there are a lot of apps out there already taking care of your plants, reminding you to water them. And finally, I crafted a product story and canvas around the new idea of having a recommendation guide fitting to their lifestyle, because that's what the Blue Ocean showed me, that everyone only starts after having done the decision to buy a plant. So as we can see here in the Blue Ocean strategy canvas, the main value I can deliver is be there during the first decision for a plant. So our new product vision in this case was the only plants guide you will ever need. So focusing on a guide which helps you from the beginning to the end. And this was tested in our objective number 3 and evaluated and see if it's valuable for our target customer. So 1% of our people then landing on the landing page signed up for the beta joint waiting list. Thanks to the impact and effort metrics, I got first clear steps lined out for the strategic roadmaps. With the lean canvas, I mapped out the real value I want to deliver in the first version of the app. And the customer journey map helped me to get an overview how I will structure the buyer's guide. And therefore, I went for the KISS schema. So keep it simple and stupid. Be fast there, but don't overload the persons. So here is the strategic roadmap where we can clearly see that that buyer guide will have a huge impact and requires little effort. And so was the first step of our strategic roadmap. And once this is done, we want to involve it into an app with more notifications, and later then also with before and after features to share on social media, because that's what we also identified about our niche, that they are active on Instagram and TikTok, where it's a good place to show off things you've achieved. And here is a small overview about our customer journey. So we started with someone who just had their last plants died. And through our 5 easy steps, we've brought them to a situation where they be in love again with plants and eager to keep them alive this time. So objective number 4, validating the core value of our product and see if recommendations is really valuable by our customers. So with this, I started with 3 beta testers with a Figma prototype, which simulated the whole workflow. There I got, thanks to the product market fit engine, a score of 33.3%. Then I went ahead and built a functional no-code prototype with Bubble and repeated the whole process with 8 additional testers on the no-code prototype and achieved a product market fit score of 12.5%. So in this pie diagram, you can see, okay, we have 12.5% who said they would be very disappointed if this wouldn't never be released. And additionally, 50% of all testers say they would be somewhat disappointed. And thanks to their feedback, I've again chosen the impact effort metrics and lined out some best next steps to do. These are also the word clouds about things I should keep doing and things I should improve. So what I got here is that it's valuable for the users, but they want more information. And also the sign up thing and all was somehow distracting to them. And while people said, hey, you should skip the sign up, my best decision was to also keep in touch with all those customers to simply move the sign up from the start to the end. So shortly before buying, because then you've attracted the people, you showed them the value of using your app, and then you probably achieve a way better conversion rate than before. And then I, as said, I kept the app up and running. So I've run another Instagram app where I reached out to 4,313 people. Out of those, 220 started to visit the start page of the prototype. 37 actually completed the buyer's guide, so moved till the very last end. And a small success for me was that 1 people really purchased the plant we've suggested to them. So with just €3, we've converted our first user to a purchaser. And I'm really looking forward to improve the app and also attract more people. So that's our roadmap for the next few weeks. I want to continue. So as said, reworking the sign-up flow, putting it behind the actual questionnaire, add additional information per plan to the last screen that people see really why they have got this recommendation. Add an overview for everyone who signed up about their last recommendations with the option to mark them as buy it, even if they didn't buy it directly via Amazon, but maybe in a local store, they still want to keep track of it. Of course, add more plans and logics in there and simply keep the app running for more and see how this will all affect, and also try out different social media campaigns and see where it all goes. So after completing this whole process, I've also nailed down some principles for me. So my first and highest principle is don't let your own opinion guide yourself in the product process. So secondly, use the MBO wisely. Find the right people to listen to, which was also very important for me. Then fourth item is don't start with the solution, but the problem, because that's what people really want to have solved. And a key thing I also learned during this whole process was that outreach to new customers and clients is nothing to be afraid of, because in the end, it's valuable for them and valuable for you. And that being said, that's it. So last word about me. I'm Lucas Radke. I'm working in product management since now roughly 10 years with a strong focus on helping users to achieve their value and deliver end results again for their users. If you want to contact me, there's my email number. Other than that, thank you for listening today.
Awesome. Excellent. Great results as well. Awesome.
Thank you.
To see the final validation. It must have been quite nice, right? Seeing the analytics for that.
Yeah.
Nice. Great work. Shows the hard work you put in as well, I think, and smart work as well. So that's great to see. Good. Let's go through I'll go through feedback quite quickly on the case study itself, and then we can discuss some of the some of the points I think I've noticed the last 8 weeks and things to sort of keep focusing on. Do you want to go back to the problem statement slide? Just as I move point, just keep changing slides so we have it visualized. Awesome. Good. So nice, you start straight into the problem statement. The one thing, and this is a common thing, and it makes complete sense because of your technical background, it felt slightly like it was lacking a story to it. So all of your points were very logical and clear, which is great, but it's this sort of the soft element. So for example, right, let's say here you go. So I'm going to start with the problem statement. First-time plant buyers are quickly frustrated. Good way to do this, and obviously it's a different context, but if you're presenting to a team or stakeholders, telling a story is so important. So you could have gone, at the beginning, I was speaking to friends, and this common issue came up around like plants and how they look after their plants. So I decided to start looking at this specific problem, that first-time plant buyers are quickly frustrated seeing their new green friends dying. It seemed to be a theme I wanted to dig in and see what happened. Therefore, and then you'd switch to, I set the objective. If you go to the next slide. So I'm connecting into the next slide. Therefore, I decided to start with a concrete objective to see if I could achieve problem market fit by validating that dying plants, that this problem of looking after your plants is actually a real acute problem for young people. See the difference where it's flowing in really naturally to each other. And so when a slide appears, that makes sense because the speaker's bridged from the previous one into the next one. So again, not in this context, but really important when you're presenting to other people. OKR1, I thought it was really well written. The key results were good and clear. Again, part of that, the storytelling though, is just going back to first principles, right? And explaining things in really simple terms. For example, if you mention user interviews or discovery calls, what are these and why did you do them? So it wasn't, if I were new to product or quite simply, if I didn't work in product, if you mention, I'm like, okay, I understand the objective. You said these key results, but I'm not really sure how the key results help us understand the objective or deliver the objective. So going, so I reached out to 22 people and conducted 5 user interviews so that I could understand the problem a little bit better. So yeah, really, really important point again to say, why are we doing these things? Good. If you go to the next slide, great visualization, awesome. But again, slightly lacks storytelling. So you go, here are the full frustration. Again, just the way you say things. It's like, so from those interviews, there were 4 common frustrations that emerged. And when I looked at these, I saw 2 opportunities to, for example, adopt to their schedule and lifestyle, and also we could help them, help deliver a source of knowledge. So again, that flowing narrative, that's what we're looking for. If you go to the next slide. Vision, yeah, great. I've always liked your vision statement, actually. Product strategy, again, was very clear. Again, storytelling, though, it's like, what is this? What is this product strategy? And why do you feel it's important to add that, say this, talk about the guides, you go, so we came up with this vision, and then this concrete product strategy was ... because we felt that there was a need for this guidance aspect. That was where we saw a really big opportunity in the markets. We wanted to focus in on that one area. To see the difference, you're giving context to the person listening, they understand your thought process here. Good. Next slide. Good. Yeah, here you did a good job of story. So the why. So you said, thanks to the blue ocean, I got a clearer idea of how to differentiate my offer. Excellent. You're showing what it is and well, not quite what it is, but why. And if you go to the next slide, here, good visualization, but give a few examples, for example. So rather than going, here's my blue ocean, go, so when I did a bit of market analysis, which is what the blue ocean is, right? Competitor analysis, I realized that there were these areas that actually no one was addressing. For example, I can't see because it's too tiny, but X and Y. Right. So again, you're adding color to that story. Good. Go to the next slide. Excellent. I love that you included the new product vision, because you're showing the value of all the stuff you talked about. You're showing why that was important. Yeah, hey, we've actually iterated a bit on that vision because of all these conversations and analysis. So again, to stakeholders, you're showing, look, product discovery, it's worth us doing. It's really important. That's the message. Good. If you go to the next slide. Again, common theme, say, for example, that key result, only 1% of landing page visitors join our beta waiting list. What is the beta waiting list? How does that help contribute towards the objective, for example? Next slide. Sorry, onto the product market fit engine. Yeah, good. This is great, really interesting. I think you could have talked through. Now, obviously, we've got limitations. We don't have statistical significance, right? When we're testing with 2 or 3 people, and then we might do 8 people. But I think it'd be interesting just to talk through, why did you feel that there was a difference in these 2 scores, for example? I thought that was missing something. And again, like, you also want to show that you iterated and how that was important as well. And why is it that we've got a lower score in the second iteration? Because we're actually building a real thing with Bubble. So that sort of story and context would be really important there. Word cloud though was excellent. You sort of, this is of how to do it perfectly. You're talking about quote, we saw that the product was valuable for users, but they needed a bit more clear communication, for example. Excellent. You're showing what it is. Why are you showing me this stuff? And you gave an example. So you did exactly what you did here, do for everything else, and it'd be an absolute top presentation. And final thing, getting that purchase, I think is awesome. Because from that, you could then go, imagine you now present this to a stakeholder to get buy-in. Or if you start your own business at some point and you're pitching for investment, you can get a pretty good idea of what it's going to cost per acquisition, which will only go down from there.
Yeah, it was just $250, I think. So therefore, it's a good customer acquisition cost, I think.
Yeah, awesome, exactly. And you can work out pretty quickly. So you can now go, right, okay, obviously Amazon gets that revenue, but now, hey, what happens if we do this ourselves? Like, how much is it going to cost us to build that infrastructure, take payment, for example? So you're going to have actually a very informed, this is way more powerful than the best business plan in the world. You've got real data, how much it cost us to get someone, how much we're going to make from them. And you're not even calculating lifetime value, right? Repeat purchase. So you've got a really strong foundation to move forward with this. And just sort of zooming out in terms of, the case study, the last 8 weeks. So I think on the case study, it makes so much sense because, again, coming from that technical background, I see this a lot. All your points are logical. They are very clear. You're very smart and analytical. It's just adding that soft layer to it. That tone of voice change. That's showing, here was the problem, and here's what this friend of mine said, or this person I was speaking to. So we decided to work on this objective, and these key results were really important because of X, Y, and Z. So that kind of narrative, I think, is just the one. If you get that, you've got all of the elements of product leadership there. So I'd say just always focus on any meeting, presentation, even if you're just sharing an update on a product feature. Focus on, what are we doing? Why is it important? And how did we come to that conclusion, for example? generally as well, over the art 8 weeks, and Lucas, really fun having you on the cohort. Super reliable. You're getting your work in. You absolutely stayed up to date, worked hard. You've been doing a lot of no code stuff as well, which even with a technical background is work. You're learning new tools, design as well. So I think, great to see that resilience and hard work. And yeah, I mean, the only other thing is, I suppose, to focus on is that strategic element. So I love this concept. I thought it was so good. You're so good in staying very focused with this solution. And I think, which will come with experience. I think one thing you could, keep focusing on is just that sort of keep being more and more strategic. So one thing I would have loved to see is, okay, what's the future of this? It's outside the remit of the case study, but what's the future of this beyond, okay, so you've got this app and you've got those 3 stages of the strategic roadmap, but longer term even, how might you eventually warehouse your own plants, right? How might you build a real ecosystem where you are the dominant player on plant ownership and purchasing? So that kind of long-term thinking would be great to see. And yeah, you look at market capture and revenue, some of the more sort of hard skills, let's say, of product leadership, let's say. But that comes with it. That's not the goal of what we've done on Prod MBA. I think we're really trying to plant those seeds around strategy and thinking of the business as well and the customer. And now it's over to you to just keep improving on that. Good. What do you feel are the next steps with this? Or how did you feel the 8 weeks were? I'd love to see you carry this on. I think it's it's a real product with real value.
Yeah, I definitely want to follow it further, because it was also so much fun to get knowledge about all those plans, then build that whole logic and the buyer's guide. So see, okay, which plan you can recommend in which cases, but also for me as a technical person, playing around with Bubble as a no-code thing was somehow challenging, because I knew how to do things, but I was limited in terms of tools, which made it a little bit fun again. To know, okay, I could do it in another way, but now you need to find a good solution to do this. Yeah, and as said, so till the end of this year or early January, I want to follow up with my short-term roadmap. So adding more plans, moving the sign-up flow a little bit, and then doing, once that everything is done, doing another social media campaign, see how I can outreach to more people, maybe conduct more interviews again on how this will look like, integrate more analytics data than is provided by Bubble to just learn how people are using it and then develop further.
Yeah, awesome. I think that's exactly the right way to do it. And also, again, it's going to get you thinking about those things I mentioned, right? The strategy, long-term business. And yeah, as I said, apart from that, it's just, present when you're presenting, just storytelling, just always focusing on that. So important for how you communicate as well, particularly the more senior you get. Awesome. No, I loved it. I thought, again, I'm always pushing, but I thought it was a great case study. Just that storytelling aspect was the only thing missing from it. But generally awesome, very interesting. And yeah, great to see that you've completed it as best you can possibly do, which is validate revenue at the end of the day. See whether people are willing to actually buy. Excellent. Any final comments from your side?
No, I'm satisfied. I really had fun the last 9 or 8 weeks with the program, and also the interconnection between all those students, but also with you. And it was fun, yeah. And really looking forward to now use that knowledge also in my business life.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the space to do it. So, the only advice I can give you now is nobody's going to tell you to do this stuff. Nobody's there to hold your hands. You just have to step up, put it into practice, which you're more than capable of doing. And this shows that. So, be confident and just try and put everything into practice that we've covered.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
Well, Lucas, I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to cancel our Berlin meetup because of COVID restrictions. But I'm sure we will meet for a beer in the spring when we rearrange that meetup.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Nice to meet in person as well. Cheers, Lucas. Then have a great afternoon, and thanks a lot
Thank
for
you.
the case study as well.
Thank you. Have an
Bye
awesome day.
bye.
See you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.